Hello, and welcome or welcome back, as the case may be, to Roy's Book Reviews, the place on the internet here on YouTube where you will find a collection of videos where I share my views, opinions, critiques of books that I've read throughout the years, some of them recently, some of them not so recently. My reviews are collected on the website Goodreads, so I read from what I have written about these books in the past while also adding whatever commentary pops into my head as recollection of the story springs to mind. I tend to read novels for the most part. A high percentage of those novels are literary fiction, but I also read throughout the various genres of fiction. I do read some nonfiction, and I've read quite a few children's books as well. I have a 13-year-old daughter, and as I was reading books to her when she was young, I would put down my thoughts about those books along with my thoughts on books that I read for myself. So I have a large collection of reviews, and I will put as many of them online for you to decide whether you want to check out some of these books as I can. Cut the music off here, and so now you are left with just the sound of my lovely voice as I discuss the lovelier novel, The Star Side of Bird Hill by Naomi Jackson. I believe this is a first-time book. And Naomi Jackson is definitely off to a fine start in her writing career. The Star Side of Bird Hill I would describe as a book of place, that place being the island of Barbados. And about it I wrote, home is more than where you live. It is where you are loved. It is the place you feel safe, where your fondest memories are created and stored. Home plays a major role in the creation of your identity. If another place was home, you would be a different version of yourself. The reason I wrote those words is because in this novel, it features two sisters who are relocated from Brooklyn, where they were born and raised, to the island of Barbados to stay with their grandmother, due to the fact that their mother is having a very difficult time emotionally, mentally. She is struggling with depression, and she realizes that she's not in the best shape to raise her children right now. She's having enough trouble just, keeping herself together for herself. So she makes the decision, a wise one, to send her daughters off to stay with her mother, their grandmother. So the duration of this story takes place during the initial months where the sisters are living with their grandmother in Barbados while pining for home in Brooklyn. I know a lot of people who, if they were relocated to Barbados, the last thing they'd want to do is to go back to Brooklyn or anywhere else, because Barbados is a pretty wonderful place to be. But ultimately, where we want to be, even more than on vacation in an idyllic tropical location, is we want to be home. Home is where the people we love are, and the people who love us. And Barbados, as wonderful as it is not that place for these two girls. The Star Side of Bird Hill is about two sisters, one a preteen, and the other a little closer to the verge of womanhood, who are sent from Brooklyn to Barbados to spend the summer with their grandmother. This temporary arrangement is giving permanence when their severely depressed mother kills herself. With their father out of the picture, having no parents in their lives means that home is suddenly redefined for them. But Bird Hill is not what they know, nor what they have chosen. It is an idyllic prison cell. The children of Bird Hill are not their true friends. The grandmother is an unbending woman with strange ways. At least they seem strange to these two girls. She's not the adored woman who raised them. They obviously miss their mother very much, in spite of the fact that their mother was going through hell, and she often was not the best mother that a woman can be. But whoever your mother is, that's who your mother is. You love her with all your heart, and when she's taken away, whatever replaces her, whatever set of circumstances, is going to seem a misery. This is not to say that Brooklyn was paradise for these sisters. For in Brooklyn is where their mother had been vanishing before their eyes by withdrawing herself as depression took hold. Brooklyn is also where their father had abandoned them. Barbados is where he makes a surprise reappearance that is difficult for them to trust. After years of being away and completely out of their lives, after their mother dies, he decides, or so he claims, that he wants to take responsibility, be a true father to them, be a full-time presence in their lives. And this is something they're completely distrustful for good reason. If their father wanted to be in their lives, he had all of the time and opportunity in the world up until now. So why should they trust him at this point? Who the sisters can have faith in is their stalwart grandmother, who is rooted in an island that they knew little of up until relocating to there. So Bird Hill is where they will finish becoming the women they are meant to be. Memories, happy and sad, at least for the time being, must stay behind in Brooklyn. The new shape of home, including loved ones they have gained and those who have been lost, must be accepted no matter how reluctantly. Passage of time will construct that acceptance. So that is the best that I can do to describe this wonderful novel. After reading it, you may feel inclined to jump online and book yourself tickets to the Caribbean ASAP. Enjoy some vacation time. I knew that I was, and come to think of it, I feel like doing that right now. But ultimately, the place where I want to be most of all is home, because home is where my family is. Home is where my heart is. And that is what this story is about. Whether you're on the star side of, what is the name of this book again? The star side of Bird Hill, or any place else in the world, if that's where you are loved, if that is where you are comforted, if that is where you are able to close your eyes and go to sleep at night without a care in the world, then that is where you want and need to be. So concludes my thoughts on The Star Side of Bird Hill by Naomi Jackson. I think you should give it a chance. If so, please share your thoughts in the comments below. And please come back in a week or so to check out my thoughts on the next book I decide to discuss here. And if you're so inclined, perhaps you can subscribe so you'll be getting notifications when I post new videos. But if you don't feel like subscribing, just remember that these videos will be dropped every Tuesday until I run out of things to say about or run out of books that I've read, and I don't think that's going to be happening anytime soon. Until then, happy reading.